And y'all have sent me a bunch of questions, and I love it. Thank you very much. Let me just get rid of some of these emails that I don't need. All right. 1.236/9. 1.236/9. Is this a test question? Oh, yeah. Now, let me go ahead and talk to you about dy dx. Now, you know, in math classes, people like to impress each other, right? Hold up your pinky, and you can say derivative many different ways. And I'm just going to go ahead and show you this right now. If you're given an f is equal to f of x is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 3, the derivative will be called f prime of x. All right, that's one way you can write derivative. Another way, if you're given y is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 3, you can say y prime, or you can say dy dx. So I just want everybody to understand, because there's a lot of calculus teachers that do not tell you this, and then when you do the homework, and I'm probably one of those that didn't tell you, you got to know the difference. So this is a way to write derivative. This is a way to write derivative, and this is a way to write derivative. So let's go ahead and get that written down right now. You can write 3 different ways. Comprende? Comprendon, comprendo, comprendo. So this one says
El
find the
understando.
derivative. Say again.
El understando.
Good. C. This says find the derivative. Find dy dx. That's what that means. Find the derivative. Y is equal to 14x to the 0. Y prime, or dy dx, is equal to 0 times 14, x to the 0 minus 1. And that's equal to 0 times x to the negative 1. And 0 times anything is what? 0. Thus, the rule, which I probably told you last week, and this goes in red, due to x to the 0, the derivative of any constant / number is what? 0. So I want everybody to write that down. And I might have told y'all that last week. Due to x to the 0, which is right there, the 0 comes out front, and the derivative of any constant or number is 0. Okay? Is that a test question? Yes. Do people miss it? Yes. But it is a test question. Why did I put it on the test? Mainly to see if people actually listen in class. That's why I would put a question like that on the test. All right, so that's that one. 1.236.9. 1.236.9. That's the same one. Must have sent it twice. Sometimes when y'all hit return twice, it sends it twice. Okay, 1.241/9. That sounds like the same one. Okay, I've got this. This is the third one. Come on. I'm not doing the fifth one. Okay, there's a different. 1.4 13/9. Sorry. This says 1.4 13/27. 1.4 13/27. I thought 1.4 was closed. Of course, nobody's going to say anything, so I'll just sit here and do the problem, even though it's closed, because nobody's going to say anything.
Yeah, it's closed.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Huh? We're supposed to say something?
Oh, no, we'll just sit here, eat our Tide Pods. All right, 2x squared. So I'm going to write m is equal to f of x plus h. I'm only going to do one of these, okay, because I need to get back to 1.5 minus f of x all over h. And then we're going to apply the limit as h approaches in 0. So I'm going to rewrite our problem on the paper here. F of x is equal to 2x squared minus 5x plus 3. And I'm going to rewrite in green 2x squared minus 5x plus 3 minus f of x. I feel like I've done this one before. 2x squared. What?
You have done this one before.
Okay, I'll do it one more time and that's it. Because I've already started it. I'm sorry, but I've already started it. Let me get a magenta color. And we're going to plug in x plus h there and x plus h there. And all this is over h. I'm going to skip a couple of steps. Limit as h approaches 0. That's going to be 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared. Y'all check my algebra. Minus 5x minus 5h plus 3 minus 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 all over h. And we'll know if I'm right if something cancels. 2x squared cancels, 5x cancels, and 3 cancels. So I think I'm okay. And that's going to be limit as h approaches 0 of 4x plus 2h minus 5. And that h carries that out. So the derivative of, let's see, that'd be 4x minus 5. Yep, 4x minus 5 is your derivative. So if you go to 1.5 material, 1.5 is the sum and difference rule with the power rule. In 1.5, f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 5x plus 3. I can take each one of these because it's sum and difference. I can take each one and do the power rule. 2 times 2, x to the 2 minus 1, minus 1 times 5 times x to the 1 minus 1, plus 0 times 3, x to the 0 minus 1. And that's going to be 4x to the first minus 5x to the 0 plus 0. And that's going to equal 4x minus 5. So that's 1.4, and this is 1.5. The two things in 1.5 is the power rule, which we just did right here. There's the power rule, power rule, power rule. And the sum and difference rule, which means I can take each one of these and I can do each one of these separately because they are joined together with sum and difference. So the sum and difference rule is also sum and difference rule is also in 1.5. Okay. So with that, I'm going to jump into 1.5 homework questions, which I thought all these were. I didn't know there was 1.4 in there. So we need a y-intercept of 3, and it's opening upward. So I would say it's one of these two. I don't see, let's see, y-intercept here. I don't know which side it's on, so I'm going to say D. And it's not going to ask for anything else. Oh, find f of prime of 1. So I didn't do that. I'm sorry. F prime of 1. F prime of 1 would be 4 times 1 minus 5. And 4 minus 5 is negative 1. So your answer is negative 1 of whatever they ask you there. I'm trying to get it to go up, but it won't go up. Oh, continue. And let's see, our slope is positive slope. So it's either B or D, B or C. And we said it was, 1 minute, have to be, wait a minute, the slope, there's our line. Where is, they don't have one, let me go down, maybe it's hidden somewhere. There we go. Okay, so it's okay, do y'all see that one down here? It must be, can't be that one, because that's a negative slope. I don't see it. I must be missing something. It can't be A. Well, yeah, it is. It is. Negative. Yeah, that's right. Be -1. And they should ask you for -1. Oh my gosh. 4x minus 5. They're kind of doing a little bit too much on this one. -1. I don't mind this being a test question, but there's too many parts. All right, so there's that. All right, let me get back into 1.5, 1.6 or whatever, because I got a lot of questions to cover. All right, I'm going to go down here. This is 1.511/27. 1.511/27. 1.511/27. And this is sum and difference, probably like the one we just did a while ago. Is it a test question? If I see that question one more time, I think I'm going to scream. If this is another, I hope this is not the same one. I'm beginning to think it is. Okay, this is a good test question. Why is this a good test question? Because it's got a radical in it, and some of y'all will blow a fuse when you see a radical. So that's why I put them on the test. And I done forgot what number it is, but it's 1.521 and what, let's see, 1.521/11. 1.521/11, y is equal to 20 times the square root of x. And what does not mix with calculus? Radicals and calculus do not mix. So what do we have to do with that radical? That means I want somebody to unmute their mic and say something.
Fraction. X
Rewrite it. Rewrite it as a rational exponent. Square root of x to the first power is equal to x to the 1/2. So I'm going to rewrite this. Y is equal to 20 times x to the 1/2 power. And now I'm going to take the derivative of this. You don't need that 20. You can just take the derivative of this. So I'm just going to bring the 20 down. And that's going to be, and I'm going to put parentheses around this. So 1/2 x to the 1/2 minus 1, using the power rule. Y prime is equal to 20 times 1/2 x to the 1/2 minus 2/2. Putting a baby step in there. Got to have a common denominator. So y prime is equal to 20 times 1/2 x to the negative what? 1/2. Now we can simplify. And actually this turns out to be this. Y prime is equal to 20 times x to the negative 1/2 over 2. And what can I do to simplify this? Well, the 2 will go into the 20 10 times. And the x to the negative 1/2 can go where? Downstairs. Or 10 over the square root of x, or 10 square root of x over x. Those are your three possible answers. That is a test question. And the reason I would put that on a test is because that radical, some people would just freak out. And all you got to do is just rewrite it. So I don't know which one they want. I don't know if they want to rationalize the denominator. So I'm going to put it in as rationalizing and see if they want that. 10 square root of x x. And they're okay with rationalizing the denominator. Good test question right there. And another reason is short and sweet. I did put about 3 extra steps in there for you. You're welcome. Next, that takes care of that one. That takes care of that one and that one. Let me go down to number 29. 1.5, 29/13. Is this a test question? Yep. You might as well just say right here, y is equal to the 6th root of x minus 7 over x, or f of x is equal to the 6th root of x minus 7 over x. Now, why did I write it like that? Because dy dx of a term, 6th root of x minus 7 over x, is the same thing as writing this and then saying take the derivative or find the derivative. Find the derivative. So you can either write it like this as they're writing it, or you can say y is equal or f of x is equal and then say find the derivative. They both mean the same thing. Now, a lot of you are saying, well, golly, I can't believe he's going over something so trivial. You'd be surprised on how many people were in a calculus class and don't realize that all 3 of these say the same thing. This would find the derivative, or y prime is equal, or this saying f prime of x is equal, and this saying dy dx of this. They're all saying the same thing. So the first thing I'm going to do is what? Somebody tell me one word starts with an R. What am I going to do?
Rewrite.
Rewrite. Why? Because you got a radical and an exponent right here, and this is no good either. So you're going to rewrite. So y is equal to x to the 1/6 power minus 7x to the -1. Now go to it. I'm going to let y'all do the rest of it, because I've done the hard part. The hard part is rewriting it. That's the hard part. So take a minute and see if you can finish it. If you can't, then you're just a disappointment to all of us. And me and Mr. Bostic's going to make fun of you if you can't.
Speaking of me, could you open up the quiz again? The one that was due yesterday. I didn't get a chance to do it.
Tough. Sorry. Can't help you.
Oh, man.
Now you need to quit and go into gender studies.
Oh, God. I'll never find a job.
Yep. Well, then you can complain about not getting a job and not being able to pay off your bills, and then you can beg the government to pay them off.
I don't know about that.
Why?
I don't think that's the way to do it.
My niece kind of walked into it. She put something up on Facebook, and she knew dang well I was going to say something. Yes. Oh, we need to forgive all free college. We need to forgive all student loans. Boy, I lit into her like a windmill in a tornado. I said, you want
Maybe
free college?
pick a
Go in the
major that's going to
Go in
pay
the
off.
United States Marine Corps. They'll give you free college. Go in the United States Coast Guard. Go in the United States Navy. They'll give you free college. Well, I lit into her quick. I said, what's your major? Underwater firefighting? Yeah, you're not going to be able to pay off your loans because you ain't going to get no damn job. These people get me. They go to a college they can't afford. All right? Now, I'm not talking about mom and daddy. I'm talking about a student that graduates high school. They go to a college they can't afford. Then they go into an underwater firefighting degree that you can't get a job. Anything with studies behind it pretty much is useless.
Underwater firefighting?
Yeah, underwater firefighting. It's next to underwater basket weaving and gender studies. And then they graduate this high-priced college, university, and they can't get a job because they got a nothing degree. And then they complain because they can't pay off their student loans, getting a degree in a worthless degree program.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even get me started on that. I got my math degree from Clemson. I paid off my student loans in about 8 to 10 years. Welcome to the real world. I'm sorry. I'll be all right. I take medication. Y prime is equal to 1/6 x to the 1/6 minus 6/6 minus the -1 times 7 x to the -1 minus 1. Now I put a baby step in there. I did a common denominator baby step right here. And then I put that -1 right there, and I put in a -1 right here. You got to subtract 1, subtract 1. Everybody with me?
Yep.
So this right here is going to be y prime is equal to 1/6 x to the -5/6 plus 7 x to the -2. International studies, Mr. Bostic. International studies. I would tell you of a congresswoman that has her degree in international studies, but you could probably guess who it is. But anyway,
Yeah, I think I know.
y prime is equal to 1 over 6x to the 5/6 plus 7 over x squared. Now, I don't think there's anything else you can do here. I know you don't want to get a common denominator of x to the 10/6. So I'm going to leave it like that. Let's see what they want. I'm interested to see what they want as an answer. I'm just going to type in 3. X to the -5/6. X to the -5/6 over 6. That's the same thing as that. Okay. They didn't even address. Now, there are some cultures that do not care about the negative exponent. I'll never forget, I had an Asian math professor at Clemson for about a week before I dropped. And they left the answer like this. Okay. And the reason I dropped is I had heard it wasn't a good experience. That's why I dropped. And she would put answers that first week of class. She would put radicals in the denominator. She would put negative exponents, and she didn't think anything of it. So there are some times when you will see answers or instructors, they will leave the negative in the answer, negative exponent. So get used to it. Okay. Next question.
Which one do we put for the test?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Which one do we put for the test?
Well, if the homework is accepting negative exponents, then you need to just keep doing it as negative exponents.
Okay.
But I want you to realize, Miss Brody, that some teachers want you to put it in this form. Okay? So just realize that. Just realize that there is some difference there. All right, next. I'm going to delete that one. 1.5, 29, 13. 1.5, 29, 13. 1.5, 29, 13. Is that the same problem? I think y'all are messing with my head. I think y'all doing that on purpose. All right. 1.5, 52, 19. 1.5, 52, 19. Okay. If y is equal to 1 over x to the 9th power, find the derivative at x is equal to -2. Well, what the heck is this saying? Well, first of all, your parent graphs tell you that you've got 1 over x to the 9th. You've got a weird looking graph. Let's draw it. Because I don't want you to just regurgitate. I want you to actually know what you're doing. So you've got well, it takes 5 minutes for this to come up. So we'll just sit here and look at it for 5 minutes. I don't know why it takes so long. Go ahead and type in 1 over x to the 9th in your calculator and graph it. Eventually mine will come on. I don't know why it's off. It's been on all morning. I don't know why. Some damn Russians. It's a conspiracy. Oh, that's from Trig. All right, y is equal to. Y'all thinking hard about changing your degree programs to international studies, aren't you? All right, here we go. Y is equal to.
I was actually thinking of women's leadership.
Women's leadership, that's good. Divided by x to the 9th. X raised to the 9th power and graph. And they want to know at -1. So I'm going to draw this. I'm going to sketch this out. And it looks like this, because the higher up your exponent is on the odd, it's going to be closer to the origin. So it looks like that. The question at -2, x at -2. So at -2, they want to know what is the equation. Hold on just a minute. I got to get I'm going to get a new pen because I need a sharp point. I have no idea. I'm just going to draw it. They want to know at -2, what is the equation for that tangent line right there? What is the equation for this red line? That's what the derivative is. At -2, x is equal to -2. So, with that being said, it's going to take y is equal x to the negative 9th power, and y prime is equal to negative 9 x to the negative 9 minus 1, and then y prime is equal to negative 9 x to the negative 10. Y prime is equal negative 9 over x to the 10th power. And now you're going to plug in negative 2. That's going to be some BA number. Y prime is equal to negative 9 over negative 2 to the 10th power. And I have no idea, so we're going to take our handy dandy calculator and we're going to do negative 2 parentheses raised to the 10th power, whatever, negative 2 raised to the 10th power, and that's 1,024, and negative 9 divided by second answer, 0.009. So the slope of that red line at that point is equal, slope is equal to negative 0.009. Now, I don't know if they want the equation or the slope, and that would be negative 9 over 1,024. Negative 9 over 1,024 is equal to m. They probably want the fraction. That's a test question because I like to see you take the derivative and then plug the number back in to find out what the slope is of that line at that point. So let's see what they want. Yep, they want the fraction, negative 9 over 1,024. You answered yes. Okay. You answered Y. All right. That's a good test question. Next question. I can't find my email.
I shall return.
Okay, MacArthur. All right. I'm not going to do another one like that. But Miss Jones, did you send those twice or did you hit the return button twice?
No, I think I actually hit it twice. I didn't mean to do that.
That's fine. I'm just wondering why it's been doing that. Okay, like Miss Brody, the same thing. She sent 2 right here together, so evidently she hit it twice. This is 1.55820. 1.55820. 1.55820. Is this a test question? Find the equation for the line that is tangent to the curve. Yes, this is a test question. Y is equal to x to the 3rd minus x. So I'm going to graph that so I can do a little, sketch of it. Y is equal to x to the 3rd, which is going to be an odd function, might have a saddle in it. X to the 3rd minus x. There we go, graph. Yep, there's the saddle right there. So I'm going to blow that up. They said, where is the number? They want it -1 and 0. -1 and 0. So we're going to blow this thing up. Zoom box. Make sure you get -1 in there. Okay, there's our function. And it looks like -1 and 0 is right there at the left. So I'm going to go up like this. Here we go. And they want to find the point. They want to know the slope of this line at -1 and 0. Can somebody tell me a little bit about this slope of this line before we even start? What kind of slope is it?
Positive.
Positive. And is it going to be a shallow slope or a steep slope? Look at it.
Steep.
I mean, would you want to climb that? No. I mean, if it was stairs, no. I mean, that's steep versus shallow, which would be like that. So it's steep. So it's going to be a whole number. So let's see what happens. Y prime is equal to 3x to the 3 minus 1 minus 1x to the 1 minus 1. Y prime is equal to 3x what? 3x squared minus what? Minus 1x to the 0. Well, x to the 0 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. So y prime is equal to 3x squared minus 1. And what is x right here? Negative what? 1. So I'm going to find my slope. Y prime of -1 is equal to 3 times -1 squared minus 1. And that's going to be 3 times 1 minus 1, which is 4. I'm sorry, 3 minus 1, which is what? So it is a whole number and positive slope. So the slope of this line is 2/1. And that's what you're finding when you find the derivative. Now, a lot of you say, well, Hubert, the slope is not a line. No, it's not. It could look like this. I'm just saying at that particular point, it's going like this. So that sucker could be like this. You know, it could be like that. I'm exaggerating this line. This line can only be a few millimeters long. It's right here at this point. I'm exaggerating it when I'm this way. You're talking about just at this little point, there's a line right there. But you can't see that little short line, so I extend it. Okay? And that equation spits out a number that gives you the slope of the line at this point. Now that slope, the length of this red line could be a couple of nanometers or a couple of millimeters. Not as long as this, no. So let's see what they got. We got 3x squared minus 1. And can I not change it? I can't change it. So I can't answer the question. It won't let me change it. Next. That was that one, 58, 58. 1.5, 60/21. 1.5, 60/21. And I'm going to let you work on this one. This says find an equation of a tangent line. That's what we've been doing. I'm going to let you work on this one. So they want you to do 3, okay. Find an equation of a tangent line. Go ahead and graph it and sketch it. Do that first. Graph it and sketch it. F of x is equal to 1 or x to the -4th and a 1, 1, b -3, 1/81, and c 2, 1/16. So this is what it looks like. And I will graph it right quick just so y is equal to clear x to the -4th. It's going to be a parabola shape. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 1/x. Yeah, it's going to be a volcano, sorry. And let's see, 1, -3. I'm going to draw a picture of it on my. All right, here's the drawing. And x is equal to 1. Where is x is equal to 1? So we're going to put a red mark around that. And there's 1 right there. So I'm going to try to draw my line a little bit shorter because I don't want you to think the whole line looks like that. There. Okay, and then we'll do a blue color. And that'll be -3. 1, 2, 3. And then at +2, we'll do an orange color or a green color. +2. And there's our 3 points. Now, since I know that this line right here is increasing, I'm going to naturally say that this slope will be what? Probably positive. What will these two slopes be?
Negative.
Negative, good. Why do you ask yourself that before you start the question? So you can see if you get the right answer, it meshes with your common sense. So, f prime of x is equal to -4, x to the -4 minus 1. F prime of x is equal to -4, x to the -5, or -4 over x to the 5th. So, f of 1 is equal to -4 over 1 to the 5th power, which is equal to -4 over 1 and -4. And it is negative, so we thought it would be negative. Let's go with the blue. F prime of -3 is equal to -4 over -3 raised to the 5th power. Well, this is going to be a very big number, but what's a negative? And a negative to the 5th power is a negative. And what's negative divided by negative? Positive, Hubert. That's right, class. And 3 to the 5th power (243), and 4 divided by 243, 0.016. Or 4 over 243. And again, these are positive, so that one checks with our common sense. Now let's do the green. F prime of 2 is equal to -4 over 2 to the 5th, which is equal to -4 over 32, which is equal to negative what? 1/8. And M is equal to negative, so that checks 1/8. Now, these are 3 good test questions. I wouldn't use this as one test question. These are 3 good test questions. Okay. Next. I don't mean to go fast, but I'm trying to get to all your questions. I want to try to get to these 1.6 questions, but I don't know. 1.57621. 1.57621. I'm sorry, 7625. 1.57625. Find the points on the graph at which the tangent line is horizontal. Where is the tangent line always horizontal? Somebody tell me. I said this the other day. Tangent line is always horizontal at what point?
The vertex?
Good job. So you're the one that listened that day. Okay. Make a note. That's the second time I've told you. It says, find the points on the graph at which the tangent line is horizontal. Y is equal to 1/3 x to the 3rd minus 5x plus 4. And you can actually take the first and second derivative and find, but we're not there yet. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to graph this thing, because you got to know where you're at. What does the graph look like? Well, it's going to have a saddle because it's x to the 3rd with an x. So it's going to have a saddle in it, some kind of a saddle. 1/3, I'm going to put that in parentheses. Let me clear everything. Parentheses, 1 divided by 3 because it's repeating, close parentheses. X to the 3rd, x to the 3rd, minus 5x plus 4. And I'm going to do zoom 0. There's your saddle. Let me back up. Zoom out. There it is. So I know I've got a vertex there and a vertex there. I'm going to show you a trick I learned in the war. Y prime is equal to 3 times 1/3 x to the 3 minus 1 minus 1 times 5 x to the 1 minus 1 plus 0 times 4 x to the 0 minus 1, which that goes out to 0. That goes out, so you're left with 1. Y prime is equal x squared minus 5 x to the 0. So there's your Y prime right here. Now, at this point, you can actually use this, and we haven't done this yet, but you can use the first derivative to find the increasing and decreasing values, like -5 or whatever. Like if I plug in -5, if I plug in -5, I get 25 minus 5, which is what? 20, Hubert. And it's a positive. So that means it's increasing at -5. So I'm going to draw my thing right here. I know at -5, I'm what? Increasing. So let me go to right here. X is equal to 0. X is equal to 0. That's going to be 0 squared minus 5. What is the answer? It's negative. So what does that mean? What does negative mean? Negative means that at x is equal to 0, I'm what? Decreasing. And let's say this is 5 out here. 5 squared minus 5 is positive 20. What does that positive mean right there? At 5, I'm what? I'm increasing. So I know I have a vertex here, and I have a vertex here. Is everybody with me? Yes, Hubert, we understand. No, Hubert, we don't understand. Thank you for communicating. The relationship is stronger. Y at 0 is equal to x squared minus 5. 5 is equal to x squared. X is equal to the square root of 5. So this point right here is probably the negative square root of 5. And this point right here is probably the square root of 5. Now, that's where we're heading with this. I don't know how they want you to do this because, honestly, you don't know how to do that yet. So I'm going to go back, select the correct choice. The points at which the tangent line is horizontal are at the vertex. There are no, that's not it. The tangent line is horizontal at all points of the graph. No. So it's A, but I don't know what they want unless I'm going to say positive or negative square root of 5. You don't know that yet. Nope. Let me see what they get. Yeah, square root of 5 right there. But they, okay, I'm going to have to get back with you on this one, and I'll tell you why. because you're not supposed to be able to do this yet. We haven't done that yet. I'll get back with you on this one. Let me move on to 1.6. I'm not going to erase this one. Let me go on to 1. I thought I had some 1.6s down here. There we go. And I've got like not very much time. So let's go on to 1.6. 1.6 25/10. 1.6 25/10. Yes, this is a test question. 1.6 25/10. That last one is not a test question because you're not supposed to be able to do that yet. We don't get into that until applications of derivatives. I'm going to have to research that one and see if it's misplaced, or I don't understand how that last one is even in 1.5. All right, I'll figure it out. This one says g of x is equal to 7x squared plus 3 7x plus the square root of x. Okay, the first thing I would do is rewrite g of x is equal to 7x squared plus 3 times 7x plus x to the 1/2. All right, somebody tell me what we're going to use. Are we going to use the product rule or the quotient rule?
I can't see your screen.
I'm sorry. Well, you can see it right there, but what are we going to use?
Product.
Product rule. Because you're multiplying. So g prime of x is equal to the first, I'll just write it, first times the derivative of the second. I'm going to write it like in green. 7x plus x to the 1/2 prime plus the second times the derivative of the first and I'm going to take the derivative of the green and do it in a magenta color. So g prime of x is equal to 7x squared plus 3. And that's going to be 7 plus 1/2 x to the negative 1/2 plus 7x plus x to the 1/2 times 14 what? X. And that's going to be g prime of x is equal to 7x squared plus 3. And this is going to be 7 plus 1 over 2 square root of x plus 14 times 7. 7 times 4 is 28. Was that 98x squared? Plus, well, that's going to be 1/2 plus 2/2 is 3/2. So that'd be 14x to the 3/2. And this is a mess. Can't believe I gave y'all this problem. Whoo! 7x squared times 7 is 49. I'm going to use the FOIL method. That'd be 49 x squared plus 7x squared over 2 square root of x plus 21 plus 3 halves square root of x, 3 over 2 square root of x, plus 98x squared plus 14x to the 3 halves. Good gracious, what a mess. And I know I can combine a couple of terms. That 49 and 98, those two I can combine. G prime of x is equal to, well, 50 and 100 is 150, but you got a minus 3. So that'd be 147. Somebody check my math. Thank you. Appreciate the communication. Thank you very much. These two, they got the same denominator. I'm looking to see if there's anything I can do. No. No. I can add these two. So that's going to be plus 7x squared plus 3 over 2 square root of x. Plus 14x to the 3 halves plus 21. I don't see this as a, I thought it was a test question, but there's no way I would take it that far. They may not want you to go that far. They may just give you the setup. Let's see what they want. See if they want the yuck. I'm just going to type in 3. Let's see what they want. Oops, 147x squared. I got that. 35. There's the 21. There's the 3 halves. Let's see. Okay, they changed. Okay. 2 into 35 is 17. They got 17x. And they did some more reducing. I think what they did is they got rid of the radical. Yeah, they got rid of the radical. And there's my 21, and I'm just showing you this because I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Okay, there's my, I couldn't get all these. This is correct. 147x squared. And the 21, they're both in there. So the rest of the problem is correct. There's no way I could get. And also, hold on. That 2 and that x to the 3 halves, I think they got a common denominator here for these two. That 3 halves, 35. I think they got a common denominator, which is a mess. Okay, this is not a test question because I don't want you to have to do all that on the test. But the first part is. Okay, let's move on. Let me see if I can find one that I'd show you what I'd put on the test. Let's go with 1.6, 27, 11. 1.6, 27, 11. 1.6, 27, 11. Okay, differentiate. This doesn't have radicals in it, so this one probably is going to be decent. G of x is equal to 5x minus 2 over 4x plus 1. And I'm going to put that in brackets. Put that in green brackets because we're going to do the quotient rule there. And plus 3x or plus x cubed. Now that x cubed, you can go ahead and take the derivative of the x cubed because this is a summary or difference because it's got a plus there. So the x cubed, just by itself, you can change that to 3x squared anytime. But we're going to concentrate on this because this is the quotient rule. So quotient rule, and you can take the derivative of this now or later, and the answer you can put it all the way down here, but I'm gonna focus on this. So denominator g prime of x is equal to the denominator times numerator prime minus the numerator times the denominator prime all divided by the denominator squared multiplied by 3x squared or plus 3x squared, which is right there. Okay, so this is going to be g prime of x is equal to 4x plus 1. And somebody tell me, what is the derivative of 5x minus 2?
5.
5 minus brackets 5x minus 2. And what is the derivative of 4x plus 1?
4.
And that's why I put this on, because this is workable. Over 4x plus 1 quantity squared plus 3x squared. All right, do your algebra and clean this up. Everybody should be able to clean that part up. Gosh, we got 4 minutes before y'all start self-combusting. You know, if you let Dr. Pepper sit long enough, it starts to taste like cotton candy. I bet you can make good cotton candy with Dr. Pepper. I love Dr. Pepper. That's my favorite drink. I love those Fansville commercials. I think they're hilarious.
DJ, I think he's on one of them. Or yeah.
What?
Yeah. I think he has a Dr. Pepper sponsorship now.
That right there is going to be the worst thing that's ever happened to college football.
I think so too. What are they? They
Because
don't
let me just put it to you this way. You've got professional athletes that can't handle it.
Yeah, it's.
You've got college football players that's going to be able to handle that? No.
I think they need to have someone who is in control of all the money and they can't touch any of it until they graduate.
That is acceptable, yes. But you got idiots now in professional football and basketball. They can't handle it.
they blow it all,
And
and
you
then
give
when
an
they retire,
18-year-old that much money,
yeah, and then they retire and they don't have any
you
money
might as
because they
well
spend it all.
just. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, I'm all for them if they put it in a trust, and then when
Yeah,
they
I think that's
graduate
what they should
college,
have to do.
they can. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. All right. So G prime of X is equal to 20X plus 5 minus 20X. Oops, that's going to be a negative. So that's -4 will be negative 20X plus 8. Y'all check my math. Over 4X plus 1 quantity squared. And the 20X's are going to cancel. 5 plus 8 is, I have no idea. 5 plus 8 is what? 13?
Yes.
So G prime of X is equal to 13 over 4X plus 1 squared plus 3X squared over 1. And in this case, they might get a common denominator. I bet you they're going to get a common denominator of 4X plus 1 squared. And let's see what they got. That's not the answer. I'm just going to hit check answer. And check answer. Nope, they didn't. 13 over 4X plus 1 quantity squared plus 3X squared. Yeah. Now, I'm showing you this for a reason. This is the type question I would give you for the quotient rule or the product rule. That last one we just did, that's a little bit too much because you can go different routes with the radical right here. This one is a little bit too much for a test question because there's other things you can do down here. I can rationalize with that square root of X. I can bring this down and get a common denominator. There's 2 or 3 things you could do right here. This is pretty straightforward. So that's the type of question I would put on a test. All right, we got that far. Let me erase that problem. And we will continue Thursday and try to get the next couple of sections out of the way. We got to give y'all a test. So I'm going to take off 27. So take off 27 there, 27 there. Okay. And let me get out of here. And let me turn off the recorder. And turn off the